keep the mullet going on?
I was thinking of keeping the mullet, but whatever you think is best.
Do you like the fluff right here?
I do. I don't like it when it gets in my eyes though from the front.
How do you usually style it? Like when you wake up, you just shake it?
Yeah, usually
You
it's
wear
not,
it up?
Usually
Forward?
it's not that long. Like when it gets to my eyes, it kind of bothers me. But like usually it's up here, and I don't really style. It is what it is.
Definitely keep the back long. Trim it though. But
Yeah.
I'll probably give you a high taper. Beard, line it up.
Yeah.
You want to trim it?
Yeah, I want to keep it a little bit less thick.
Today's project is to fix my client's mullet. So he actually came from Arkansas. He's new to the city, new to Philly. And he said the barbers in Arkansas, they're just okay. So I immediately noticed he had some disconnection going on. Now he doesn't know this obviously, but it's your job to kind of know, what your client needs. So what disconnection is literally what I said. It's disconnected, so it's kind of like an undercut going on. So we're gonna have to raise the side fade up pretty high. And right now I'm just sectioning his hair. I like to work on the back first, usually with a mullet. And I'm just gonna establish the length. We are gonna keep it long, but just not as long as it is now. And we're going to significantly shorten the top. And I've been trying to mix up my content, so I'll you guys know I cut all textures, all races, so I'll try and mismatch throughout the week. I usually upload like 3 to 4 times a week. I'll mix it up, so with different textures, different races. You can't be one-dimensional. Gotta keep it exciting. And so now I'm going to connect it to more so the top of his head. Checking for the guide before I cut. But then as I move down, I kind of make it longer, in a sense, to keep that mullet shape, obviously. I think next time if I were to cut his hair again, I'd just go with a finger razor or feather razor and just kind of feather it out. That's easier to create fluidity, in my opinion, with a mullet like this. In my opinion, I mean. Now we're gonna work on the top of his head. Taking our guide from the back and just connecting it. I started point cutting just because I don't want it to be too smooth. I want it to kind of have that rough look. And then, I don't know the technical term for what I started doing, but a barber I know in Fishtown in Philly taught me this. Shout out my boy Tyler. Not this technique, but I'm gonna show you guys when I do it. So this is called point cutting, obviously. right here. So it's pretty much just roughly just trimming it, but it'll add texture because you're like doing it in chunks, kind of chunk cutting it might be called. I don't know. So yeah, so once everything's cut, I'm gonna go ahead and cross check my work, and then I'm gonna section it out, and then we're gonna work on the hard part. This is kind of the most tricky area of this cut because we have to connect the disconnection. And I feather razor his front just to give it that textured look. He doesn't want it in his face too much. And right here, I'm gonna scissor over comb. And I know I don't do this often, but this is an effective way to just remove bulk. I had to remove all of that because of the disconnection. The disconnection was so high, you just had to, so. So we're gonna go ahead and dry it before we do the taper. And this is kind of the rough draft of how the scissor work is looking. Still some imperfections on the side. I kind of left that because we're gonna have to use our guards to kind of fix that. So I lifted it up to show y'all that I didn't do that. Like that was all shaved. So we have to basically let the longer hair sit on top of what's already shaved. This is a tricky cut, tricky save. It wasn't easy, but we got it done. So the goal is to just make the longer hair just sit, and while also complementing his head shape, so it doesn't look weird in that area. So this is a situation where I will use my thinning shears and scissor over comb just to clear it out, kind of let it sit nice and pretty on top of the shaved undercut. Tricky process, but we got it done. And for the other side, we're gonna do the same exact thing. And for mullets, I like to clean up the back of the neck by just lifting up the longer hairs and shaving under it, all the baby hairs. Now let's work on his beard. I just shaved it down to, I believe, a 2. Give him a nice chiseled, masculine, shape up under his neck. Shout out to Easy Blade. My code's on the screen. Get yourself 10% off. I just like to line up his C-cups. I did his beard too. Gonna clean up everything else with the shaver. Now I'm gonna add some rough texture matte clay. This is gonna give his hair that nice textured look. It didn't get the job done. I needed a little bit more texture. I went in, I saw some imperfections with the scissor work. I'm gonna go ahead and just thin it out a little bit. And I added a little bit of texture powder to give it that extra fluff because it wasn't fluffy enough.
Damn.
That shit.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So this is how my client came in, and this is how he's leaving. This was a nice save, honestly. This was crazy. It's your boy 4, and I'm out. Peace.